Survivor season 41. Tiffany is here with me today. Sorry to see that things didn't go your way on this season of Survivor, but it's nice to see you today. I'm excited to speak with you.
Thanks, Katie. I'm excited to be here, sort of.
Sort of. Nobody ever expects this outcome, of course, for themselves. You go in expecting to win it, and with the collapse of the Yasa tribe, especially as we watch the trust kind of dissipate between you guys, you straight up even said at one point you felt like it was going to be you voted out at Tribal. So when did you start to feel like you were in jeopardy?
So what I think that viewers didn't really get to see was that Xander was not talking to me anymore. So after I gave him back his stuff and that loyalty and trust was there, I did not use his stuff when it was on my person. And you would think after like being together for 16 days, and that loyalty's there, and you see I don't use it on Evie, who's my ride or die, and you know how close we are. Like that should have spoken for something, and it did not. In fact, it turned the complete other way. I think he became paranoid that everybody else was seeing us as a threat 3. So he completely just did not speak to me whatsoever. I tried to talk to him. Liana ran after him while I was there. I mean, it was insanity. And I felt like, there is no good game without some type of loyalty, especially when you guys are down on numbers and you're the smaller of the groups. So you would think that we would stick together, especially at this tribal after we made this massive move together, which was ultimately masterminded by myself and Evie, and made it look like Xander, did the whole thing on his own. Evie and I got together on that. We were always lockstep. We strategized like crazy. We came up with that. I said, Evie and I both at the same time, I have to be honest, said, we can't give it to you, Evie. Everybody knows you two are tight. Give it to me. Nobody will suspect that I have it. And it worked like a charm. Besides, he did go off and tell Danny about it, which was really not smart. He was a little bit too performative at Tribal for my liking, pulling it out early, the whole thing. Like, just sit there, be humble, do your deal. It's going to be a big move. And, so I don't know if there was a little bit of fear that we were so strategic. He saw us being strategic, but, that loyalty line, it went the complete opposite. It made no sense.
And tell me what was going through your mind during that Tribal, because it was so dramatic with the halting and Heather whispering in people's ears. I mean, what were you thinking in that moment?
Oh, yeah. I was thinking, what in the hell is happening here? So because nobody was talking to me on the island, I was like, oh, they just don't want to tell me it's me. So I was already feeling like I was in jeopardy. However, if they were smart, you would think it is merge. We need to flush something. So at best, I was like, okay, it may be me, but they're going to have to split it on somebody with actual idols and things. So they're going to split it between Xander and myself, or Nasir and myself, right? So I'm like ear hustling and over here trying to hear things as much as I can, gather as much intel as I can on the down low, because everyone's, literally Evie and I were like, we had some sort of disease. Nobody was coming near us. It was crazy. She was safe and I was screwed. It was supposed to be Evie. It was supposed to be Evie that night, but she won, which I'm so proud of her. What an episode for her. But anyway, so going in, I was like, they're going to split it on me and Xander. But then I started seeing everybody sort of like fighting. Like Shan was crying with Liana over grilled cheese. This one's fighting over who's doing what. People are like trying to like block people from talking to people. It was sheer madness. And obviously the time span there was not very long. It looked like we had a lot of time, but at merge, there was no time to get to know people. It was minimal to none. And we got really messed up with a lot of those stupid rock draws and things. And I was not on the good side of those things. But anyway, so going in, I was thinking it was going to be split between, even between Xander and Nasir, so that they could use their idols and maybe say we're going to split it between Xander and Nasir and then get me out. Fine. You just flushed 2 idols. You got me out. Mazel tov, you did a great job. This was it was madness. So when Heather tells me to get up, to sit there and not move, New Yorker, you think I'm just going to sit there and not move? They did not show it to you, but I popped up so fast, you'd never see anything like it. And I go to talk to Xander because I'm like, this is bad. He's got to be aware. He's got to realize, like, we got to do something here. And he went like this to me. He didn't want to talk to me. It was terrible. They didn't show it, but he did. And I was like, I'm dead in the water. There's nothing to do when no one's talking to you. Like, I can't like go and physically, open their mouths and be like, okay, Tiff, we'll do this. Like, it wasn't happening. But there was enough fracture and conversations that I knew it was. Now when she jumped up, that I was maybe going to be okay, because she ultimately tried to keep me safe by putting it on Nasir, but it ended up being between me and Heather. And then Deshaun saying, I'm not doing Heather. It was going to be in Heather. It went completely to Heather. And then Deshaun decides, I'm not doing that. Shan, who normally does her own thing and is the boss, gives Deshaun the power and says, okay, dude, we're going to do what you want because I don't want you to be mad. We're going to do what you want. Let's keep you placated. Because he was doing that a lot on the islands. And it got me voted out because at the end of the day, she did what he wanted and everybody was willing to do Heather and it became me. And I went and sat down thinking, this is going to be split. I can't use I actually didn't remember my shot in the dark, but I wasn't even thinking about it because I was worried I was going to be Sydney'd. So I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So, and then Heather votes for me. What? Heather voted for me after trying to save me? And then Liana, I'm literally keeping at bay the entire season from Xander's butt the entire time. And then she votes me over Xander with an idol. What? Why? Made no sense. So I was pretty hot that I got out in a way where, okay, get me out, flush something. This is Survivor. Flush something. Nada.
It was just interesting how, Heather's role hadn't been very big, at least from the viewer's perspective, until this show, and then all the drama unfolding near the end of it really comes to show how much was going on behind the scenes, right? But it was pretty clear, at least to us, that Shan was orchestrating how to play the cards the entire episode. So how much was that played into it, or do you think it really just came down to, the little whispers and everything going on at Tribal?
I think that Shan had a lot, I think Shan had a lot of power at UA because they kept going to Tribal. So it makes her look like, this big mastermind, and she's a good game player. She's fun to watch, she's a good game player. But when it came to the merge, it was a power struggle. And it was very evident. And it was like Deshaun and Shan at each other's throat, and they're trying to keep this group together. And it became like, the focus became like, it was like, who am I going to keep happy versus doing the smart strategic thing. And I saw it happening in front of my eyes. And I was like, you know what? This is not the way you play Survivor. I'm not okay with this. Like me and Evie are strategizing. We're working with people. We're trying to get, I had plans going out at the wazoo, such great ideas, but they weren't like strategizing. They were too busy like placating each other. Dude, this is Survivor. Like we're not placating each other. We are playing a game. Let's do it with integrity and let's play the freaking game. And I just feel like there was too much like luck, too much emotion, like there were some young players, maybe not so great to be on a season that has so much craziness thrown into it. Like there was so much it makes for great TV and drama because they are young and they don't have a filter, but it screwed up my game.
If there was anything that you could do and go back that you would do differently at this point?
Well, clearly if I knew Xander was going to be the way he was, I would have kept his stuff.
Right.
No doubt. 100%. But there was no reason for me to think he would flip on me. Zero. He just trusted me with all of his best possessions. You don't think he's going to flip on you like that. It made no sense. It was a very, very short-sighted move on his end. And a lot of his moves that seemed a bit performative to me, where like, if you want to make a boss move, like use your idol on me. You're not going to use it anyway. Use it on me. And then we have the numbers. One more vote. But listen, he's got to play his game, and kudos to him for flipping on me, I guess. I'm here and he's not.
I want to thank you so much for speaking with me today, though, Tiffany. It was really great talking to you and great hearing more about your story.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.